Good afternoon, everyone. Let us chant Namo Tassa together to start the session for today. Namo Tasse Bhagavatu Arehato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tasse Bhagavatu Arehato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tase bhagavato arehato samma sambuddhase. Kahine vacha chittine pamadine maya katang Acchayang khammi bhante bhuri panye tathagate kahine vacha chittine pamadine maya katang Acchayang khammi dhamme sanditthika akhalika Kaine vacha chittine pamadine maya katang Acchayang khammi sange supatipanne anuttere. Let us sit for meditation. Sitting comfortably, coming into the present. Being aware of your posture as you close your eyes. And guide your attention inwards, away from the past and anything which has transpired in the past, guiding your attention away from the future and anything to do with the future, and come into this moment, right here, right now. Where we would be able to experience the present mind, the present body, in guiding our attention away from the past and the future. We choose to only cognize objects that appear within the present, within the five sense doors and the mind door. At the five sense doors, to observe the different sensations, the objects that appear moment to moment. This is what we take as object in the present, in the mind. How do we come into the present moment with the mind? Letting go of any thoughts that arises, taking a past occurrence as object and letting go of any form of clinging, attachment that we would have towards the desired outcome in the future. Being in the present entails only taking present objects at the six sense bases. So the five sense bases becomes object to the mind, or the mind constantly arising in between these streams of mind to take the objects aramana that arose in the five sense doors. As you listen to the sound of my voice, guiding you into Vipassana, simply observe and be with the voice, using it as a guide to be with the present object of mind, guiding your attention to the breath. Observe, observe, observe the breath arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. The gross breath calming itself moment to moment as the mind lets go of the past and the future. In this singular act of letting go brings about peace. Being in the present, engaging with the present is peaceful because this is where the mind takes least mano sankhara as object. The busyness of mind, the agitation of mind spreads throughout the whole body, upsetting the flow of the body. Creating an upset in the balance of the elements, mind and body. Both these being conditioned in the moment, due to just being its nature. Sankata, condition. Loving this truth, supporting you in being in a deeper present, away from the conventional world, Samutiloka, to settling upon the Paramattha world, ultimate reality. Gently, gently, being with the breath, moment to moment, only taking the breath as object, in being with the breath. Through the moment of Upada arising, Titi possessing, and Banga, dissolution. In observing the breath, without any agenda, without trying to get anything as a result, find deepest comfort in just being without want. Simply be within this moment without any form of want. Simply be with the breath as the breath becomes calmer and calmer. Mind in the posture. Be with the breath. And gently, gently through the breath, let us become aware of the body, moment to moment, shining your light of wisdom, prajna, together with sati, attention, towards this body, the Rupakanda. This is the aggregate of materiality. Guide your attention from the topmost part of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes, swiftly, like scanning the entire body. As you swiftly and carefully guide your attention through the body, it might run, it might arise in your mind the thought that this is the chest, this is the hands, the arms, the forearm, in such and such a way you would advert right back into Sankhara. So let us not be concerned with the label, the ditti, the conventional truth, sammati satya, to set foot in our meditation, in our vipassana. Let us only be with the Paramattha, the experience, not the title, but advert into the experience of this aggregate. From the topmost part to the most bottom tip of this aggregate. Let us experience the rising, the passing, the rising, the passing, being in the present. Observe. Take no other object apart from experience in the body, without any form of clinging to the Sammuti or the Paramattha. Just being without want. As you guide your attention through this skandha aggregate, the cushion, the chair that you are seated on, the ground, all of these experiences might incline you towards thinking, or the body is seated. It might give you the concept of body, but what you are experiencing or naming as this body is the nature of water, cohesion, holding everything together in a cohesive manner. This cohesion is labeled as the body. When you go deeper into this cohesive phenomena, you come to realize within this cohesive nature, there are many experiences. First, you might see it as pleasurable or not, but when you go beyond the feeling into the nature of the element, you find temperature, cold, heat, you find motion, pushing, pulling, supporting. You find earth, hardness, softness, roughness, smoothness, heaviness, lightness, all earth. When the body is adverted for any of the attributes of heaviness, lightness, softness, roughness, these are earth element nature, then you see earth. But when you take the cohesive nature of the body, where the arms, the limbs, parts of the body are all kept wrapped around with a layer of skin, all of that is cohesion, the water element. It is because we are held together as humans that we are named as human, that we experience the world as human. Let us guide our attention through this khandha to see the elements, adverting to the earth element, the hardness, the lightness, all of this. Let us observe the earth element throughout the body. Throughout the body. Putting all else aside. Let us be with the earth element. Experience it fully all throughout this aggregate skandha, the body. Gently, gently observe. Observe the earth element, the hardness felt through the cushion or the ground that the body is on. The touching of the limbs, the hands, the legs, experience gently, gently. From the earth element, through the earth element itself, observe the temperature. You will find that deep within the earth element supporting it is temperature, heat, cold, temperature, the fire element. Gently see the fire element throughout this kanda, throughout. Gently be with the fire element, moment to moment, moment to moment. Gently, gently. Being with the fire element, moment to moment, changing. Remember, materiality endures 17 times longer than a moment of mind. So it is far more simple to see, to be with the body, the element, observe, observe, observe. Gently, gently, through the experience of the dhatus, moment to moment. You might begin realizing the impermanence, the nature of impermanence. Use his understanding to let go even more deeply, which will bring far more clarity to the present experience, guiding your attention from the fire element to the wind element, motion supporting the wind element, through the breath. You see motion at a deeper level within the body through the other element, and seeing the other element. You see wind, the fire element, the fire element is supported by wind, the earth element, the motion in something that also seems to be hard and heavy is wind. Gently, gently observing the wind element throughout, moment to moment. Motion that we experience through the knowing of the element is the Paramatma nature, the ultimate reality, where in the conventional world we name this motion with many different words that give many different meanings. But in the ultimate sense, you see that it is only air. Gently, gently, gently. Let us now attempt to observe all four of the elements internally. The internal elements, the external elements are all the elements that exist beyond the body, as we may say in the sum of the world, the outside world, the environment, other people, all masses of rupa, external. Adverting your attention to the internal element, the cohesive nature, enabling us to discern between the external and internal. When the mind is defiled, when the mind is heavy, burdened with ditty views, ego, mana, conceit, the different hindrances, we see the external and internal through demarcations of self, me, myself, and I, others, other people, not mine. Let us see the ultimate nature, the demarcation between internal and external. Seeing this as a cohesive water element, keeping the body intact, together. Gently, with realizing the cohesive nature, through which this mass exists. See the earth, the fire, the wind, and with those elements, the finer ways through which the body, the elements within the body, goes through the processes of arising, possessing, passing away. Upada Titi Banga. Upada Titi Banga. Upada Titi Banga. Gently, gently observe As you observe the elements, they might at first seem like a continuity of experience, but as you go deeper, as your insight matures, you will begin to see the moment to moment arising and ceasing with the subtle differences between each moment, thus bringing a deeper depth of present moment awareness into the practice. Every moment, every experience is unique since they are conditioned, and once its conditioned natures pass, they will never arise in the same manner again. So it is different. Experience the unique, subtle differences, if you can, with the elements themselves, arising and ceasing moment to moment. Observe. Gently see the nature of impermanence that exists in every singular sankhara dhamma, conditioned phenomena that arises. The mind that observes through every moment, different chittas, consciousnesses, taking different objects. These objects, whether objects of the mind or body, are too impermanent owing to cause and effect, Hetupala, these dhammas arising and ceasing, owing to the different conditions that are present, seeing the nature of impermanence, should one cling to that which is impermanent, one becomes caught up within a sankhara of the past. A knot has been created, a condition for suffering has been laid. Within this moment of attention and awareness, let us rid the knots and be within the present without any dependency, whether it be physical or mental, embracing this pure solitude of the present. As you observe the body, now seeing the body only as element, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. As they arise, observe, discern the element, discern. Gently, gently guiding your attention to the breath, the environment around you, knowing these are all elements arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. Gently, gently. When you are ready, opening your eyes, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, everyone. So we will come to questions pertaining to our own practice. Now, so who would like to share their experiences and if there are any questions that you would like to ask as well?
Bante,
Omala Kianda.
thank you very much for the excellent guiding. Um, my question is about Anapana meditation.
Mhm.
Um, During Anapana, sometimes I feel unwanted sensations like a pain somewhere or itching. Do I sort of observe the pain and uh, say, think of Uppada, the pain Uppadati Banga, or just I ignore it completely, try and ignore and go back to my breath.
Hmm. Well, some pains can be ignored some pains can be ignored while some others might be a bit more difficult. When it comes to the pains that can be ignored by adverting to the breath again with a higher virya effort, then of course the pain should then subside. If the pain does not subside and persists, then one can begin to observe the impermanence of that pain as a way of then letting go of the dukkha sankhara in that. Once the mind is able to let go of the dukkha sankhara, then there will be no more pain. Hi. When the reason why we advert to the pain or the sensation as a pain is because of the dukkha sankhara, right? Dukkha sankhara, how does a dukkha sankhara arise? A dukkha sankhara arises because of attachment, tanha, right? Because of tanha, samudaya satcha. So if using those techniques of insight that we know, for example, may, the impermanence or looking at the moment to moment, if those don't work, if the pain is that much more stronger, then I would say, of course, we have a sutra where the Buddha says to go through the different versions. You can try metta bhavana towards the pain if the pain is that difficult, right? If the mind keeps on going into friction with the pain, you can use Metta Bhavana as a way of relaxing the intentions that the mind has towards the pain. If no one of those techniques work, then you can very slowly, swiftly shift, right? You can shift. Um, Something that I used to do, Mala, I want to make sure that I mention the sutra because there is direct guidance from the Buddha about this. But something that I do is when I am focused on on the meditation, and if the focus of the meditation subject, right, is well based, I can maintain. But of course, because of the long sittings, then the pains in the body that might appear. Sometimes what I would do is just because I want to keep with the object, I would gently shift, right? I would gently shift. Now, this is of course because of when we do long hours of meditation, the whole day is full of meditation, right? The whole day is full of meditation, and you will have those days where, the monks would feel that, sometimes you would feel that body, right? The sankhara of the body. So, but a 1 hour session, Mala, when pain arises in a 1 hour session, which is what we did, when a pain arises at a 1 hour session, then you know it is because of the mind, not really because of the posture of the body. Of course, if there's a health condition, then that's another case. All those cases, especially because it is just a 1 hour meditation, we can overcome most often by just giving more attention to the object and ignoring. But see it as it comes and try to get back to the object in the best and most effective way possible. Correct. At the end of the day, all of those, even when we do, for example, meditation such as Dhatu Manasikara, all of those pains or discomfort that might arise, remember now, for example, if it is taking today's meditation as an example, if the leg is going through pain and stiffness, the leg, we have the concept of the leg, the sanya, the perception of the leg arising because of what? Because of the water element, right? We misjudge the water element to be self. ඕකට තමයි කියන්නේ, that is what we refer to as delusion, right? As delusion. That delusion arises through ditthigata sampayutta or ditthigata vippayutta, with wrong view or without wrong view. And in this case, it is wrong view that is taking the self or the leg as self there. Does that make sense? Right?
Mhm.
So the leg is taken through self there. So ඔය වගේ විපස්සනා ඥානයක්වත් උතන්ට යොදවන්න පුළුවන්. To realize that there is no true pain there, right? To be exaggerated upon the mind. It is exaggerated because of the mind. Taking it as object of tanha, because at a moment, especially when you're meditating and you're trying to seriously get into it, the stiffness of the body is sometimes manifested by the stiffness of virya or virya in to the meditation itself, right? Hence, ඔක්කොම balance කරාගෙන ඒ මොන දුක්ඛ සංඛාරයක් හටගත්තත්, whatever dukkha sankhara arises, it is impermanent in nature. The moment that we go into the impermanent nature and understand it, all of those pains disappear. So the pain arising, if it is only, do not have friction. I always say this, do not wish that pain does not arise. It is because of pain that these doorways and opportunities into deeper depths of our mind are accessible to us. So we must use that pain to fuel our practice, to get better at the practice, to understand the practice more. So do not have a friction with the pain. I'm sure not only Mala, there might be plenty of others and meditators all across the world. Every single meditator experiences pain. And hence we know why meditation is not, although we have a lot of Buddhists, we only have a very little people who earnestly meditate. Why meditation is tough. But it is the Dhamma is there to aid us, to show us the path to that process. And that path showed in the Dhamma is discerned through prajna, discerned. When we use in Samatha Bhavana, we use the term um, being, right? Adverting, right? When it attention based. When it is Vipassana, we use the term discern. Why? Because the components or the way the mind works there is very different. In being or adverting, you are just simply observing the object. No judgment, no delving deeper, nothing. You're just being with the object. In discerning, the Dhamma base that you have or your understanding of the moment helps us to discern deeper, penetrate deeper into Dhammas. Penetrate deeper into Dhammas. Now, if we are to take an example of discernment, now we realize if your leg is hurting, let us say, the pain in the leg, let us say it's stiffness, right? Stiffness of the shoulders, stiffness of the legs, stiffness of the thighs where the arms are resting whilst we meditate, right? These places, stiffness. Stiffness, when stiffness arises, if you, even at this very moment, if you advert to any part of your body that has stiffness, that stiffness is seen as or is experienced as a body of continuous flow, isn't it, everyone? Like a body where a body of stiffness is continuously flowing, is continuously flowing. But now this is how the immature Vipassana yogi would experience, right? Would experience. This is the experience of santati, right? The experience of santati, where the moment of processing is seen as a continuous flow. When the insight matures, the immature yogi becomes more seasoned and mature, the yogi will begin to see differences between those moments of arising and ceasing components. Between those components, you will begin to see slight variation, very subtle. The stiffness is not the same stiffness, there is change in that stiffness. That change, moment to moment, that change that occurs through moment to moment will be apparent and seen. Now that is a deeper depth that yogis has to aspire to have in experience when observing one, the breath meditation, the Dhatu Mansikara techniques, the Vedananupassana, the walking meditation, in all of those elements, even this can be especially powerful in walking meditation because you go into such a deep state of samadhi when you're doing your walking meditation with every step that you take, you slow it down even more, letting go faster, not keeping anything. It is as if someone comes and gives something to you, the very next moment you take it from that someone and give it to someone else, right? There is no keeping it, right? There is no hopes of keeping it with you. There is no there is no curiosity, oh, what might be in this package? What is this package? What could I do with this package? There is no curiosity whatsoever, experiencing, giving it away, experiencing, giving it away. The question of what is this will not, if the question of what is this, like a question mark in your mind, right? Sometimes you have those question marks in your mind, isn't it? When you're observing, you have those question marks in mind that appear, right? Those question marks, that is delusion, everyone. right? That is delusion. Now, don't look at this as don't look at this as, oh, I wasn't having delusion. Trihetuka, my mind was Trihetuka. If you look at it in a compact ball of experience, then it will be very difficult to see and penetrate through that. You have to realize moment to moment, because of different conditions and nuances of the present, the experience is different. So avidya, that question mark, being unable to discern, is this fire, is this earth? Uh, what in motion in the fire, how do I see that question mark that arises, not the question mark that arises in discerning. This is a question mark. With this question mark, your mind is blank. Your mind can't see. Moments like that, the mind can't see, it goes into delusion, right? Goes into delusion. That moment where the mind can't see, there is no clarity, it is like a blank, that moment is delusion. When the yogi becomes more and more mature, the accessibility, where the prajna and the dhamma that is observed aligns, becomes more and more. Now you will not have moments of, or the moments of delusion that you would have would slowly, slowly, slowly fade away. Fade away. When we speak about our experience, you might already been experiencing this before you started meditating, the internal dialogue in your head, how it was, the thoughts, the proliferation of thoughts, the wandering thoughts, uh, always thinking about the future, worrying about the future, worrying about the past, things which have been done in the past. All of these things you will experience if you are a genuine meditator, right? Who is a genuine meditator, meaning a person who does it every single day with dedication. You will experience that your internal dialogue disappears. The reason this internal dialogue disappears is because the taints of mind, the ditthigata sampayuta, the thought processes with ditti, with mana, those gross dhammas, those weak dhammas, it will not be entertained. It will not be entertained. It is as if letting go of things that you now surely know as their intrinsic nature arises, causing disruption, causing a sense of displeasure. Make this in seeing through the insight, you learn to let go of that moment to moment where the mind becomes freer. The taints have less access to the mind, to the mind. This process, moment to moment, even if we see or tell ourselves, oh, I am aware, I have seen the breath, you have not seen the full nature of the breath up until you realize moment to moment, even in the long breath, during that process, moment to moment, there are changes in that breath. Moment to moment, there are changes in the breath. That flow, if you see it as a continuous flow, that is what we call the experiencing of santati, right? Upachaya, santati, anicchata, jarata. The experience of ඒ තියෙන විදියටමයි ඒක ඒ process එක අර සම්මුතියෙන් දකින්නේ. Through that is the convention. That is, however much we say we understand the Paramattha, you cannot understand the Paramattha till when you have this greed. The full experience of the Paramattha arises in one who lets go of that greed, that tanha. Greed is essentially not only towards physical things, that's the most gross form of greed, right? Greed towards mental components of past and future, greed towards views, greed towards mana, conceit, views, these things. These components are more that supports the mind. And when the mind is uneasy, the experience of the body is all over the place. Why? The mind is taking objects. The mind is taking objects. The mind can take objects faster in comparison to the time that the body takes to arise and cease. Arise and cease. So, what other questions might we have with pertaining to our practice?
Bhante, I
Thank
have
you,
a
Bhante.
Bhante.
Oh,
Shall I?
Sujata.
Yes, Bhante. Thank you. This element of cohesion in this exercise, can you explain a little more of it, Bhante, please?
Thank you, Sujata. I was waiting.
Thank you.
The cohesive nature, Sujata.
Yes,
Now,
Bhante.
when we have the internal, the external. Hare. Now, in a colloquial sense, Sujata and everyone, when we speak, when we learn as internal is all that, the definition of internal is all that happens internally at the five sense doors. At the five sense doors, that is internal. However, that is Dhamma language. Internal to me as a Sammuti conventional being is everything within this body, isn't it?
Bhante, it's a
Right?
binding together.
It's
Binding.
it's not binding together, right? It's not binding together. The binding nature is a component. The cohesive nature, it is like the gravitational pull of the earth that keeps us all grounded. So gravity is the nature of cohesion, right?
That's what isn't
That
it, Bhante?
keep everything together where it should be. So even when it comes to this body, you feed it, right? You feed it. Now when you feed the body, present moment, rupa, materiality can arise from ahara, nutrition. We feed the body, right? We feed the body. So through that, the body gets its nutrition, right? Through chittaja rupas, that is because of the mind, we produce. So you are now 1 hour and a half from the time we started. Because we meditated, you are definitely a bit more healthier in your physical mass than when you started. Why? Because we were in meditation, good minds, kusala minds arising, and these chittas, these minds produce materiality in the body. In Pali, we refer to these types of materiality as chittaja rupa, right?
Yes.
And the other type of rupa that arises, keeping this body going and giving us the perception that this body is one being, right, is the fact of kammaja chitta, kammaja rupa. Kammaja rupa. Kammaja rupa is rupa that arises because of past karma, because of past karma. So past deeds, those deeds might be might have been done in the past in this same life or in a previous life. Now we are the ones who have demarcations over past and previous. So previous, but when we look at it from a Paramattha sense, everything from this moment backward is past. Everything from this present kanda backwards is past, right? So in ultimate reality, Yes, there is birth because of a rebirth consciousness, but in a material sense, it is all past. Even you last week or a month back or a week, a year back or 10 years back, that is all past Kanda.
Yes.
We are the ones who puts it into a sort of a through our sense of Atma, ego. So when we look at cohesion, we look at cohesion is the nature that keeps it all together.
Together.
Take an example of, let us say, one of the grandmothers here, right, with their sweet little ones, the grandchildren, Nodukwityapana, Achi Amma ho Siya, Bhavana Karana. Hari. Now, I think at this time, for most, it is the attachment that they have towards the children might have transferred over to the grandchildren, right? Might have. Now, in this moment, now see, this is a unique opportunity again to see the internal and the external, where you're meditating with this child on your lap or, cuddling in bed or whatnot, and you're doing this meditation. And when you're holding that child, right? So the child might be knocking against your shoulder, your arms, your hands, right? So you can feel this child on your body, right? Now, when you are meditating at this moment, now you feel the child's sort of upper body, right? And if you're like huddling in bed or couch or whatnot, you might feel their legs and whatever as well. So through your body, you have a sense of their body, isn't it? Through
Yeah.
your body, you have a sense of their body. Now, when you're holding them, when you have a sense of their body, that sense came from where? Through the Pottabha, through feeling, contact. Feeling means through the body, sensation. This sensation seems like a whole, isn't it? That is why we think this is another being, me puta. This is, right, the son of the daughter, whoever it is. When you observe that nature as cohesion, because what you're seeing is a cohesive mass of different dhatus. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, and Bio. All of that cohesively existing, a cohesive mass. So when you observe water element rising and ceasing, rising and ceasing, rising and ceasing, the child will become all dhatu. The child, now the concept of the child or the grandson will disappear, and all you will begin to experience is dhatu. The Fatavi are now, this is what we call experiencing the external dhatu. Do you understand?
Well,
Experiencing the external dhatu.
yes.
Experiencing the internal dhatu be, right? Where you're experiencing not the child, but all the tactile sensations that we are receiving, which we use to experience Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, the four elements in the present. In the present. So if you would look at a building, you would think that the building, right? Let's say you're looking at a house in front of your house or a
Yeah.
car, right? Now, when you're looking at that, because it is solid, isn't it? Because it is solid, you would assume, and it looks pretty heavy and hard and all of that when you look at a building, isn't it? Right? It's just there, a concrete mass. That concrete mass can be defined as the earth element. But the concrete mass is not earth element, it's water element. Cohere. It is because all of those particles are
Yeah.
together that they are seen as that concrete mass. The Attakatha gives an example of a rope. A rope.
Mhm.
When you take when you the if you take fiber, it is a fiber rope or අපේ ලංකාවේ කට්ටිය හොඳට දන්නවා පොල් වලින් අතුරන නේද? ඒවත් තියෙනවා, you can see that better. Those strings that make up the fibers that make up the rope. The rope, there is nothing called a rope. Why? The rope is a formation of all those fibers. When the fibers adhere in that nature, it's a rope. But now in your mind, Sujata, and everyone else, as I'm telling you this, you have heard this before, but as I'm telling you this, you put a question mark. Just a question mark.
Yeah.
Right? A question mark. You understand the words that I'm speaking, right? You understand the sentence, but it is a question. That question mark is delusion, avijja.
Illusion. Right.
Now, don't take that as a negative. In being able to spot that delusion, we are able to, in being able to now realize there's delusion there, we are able to remedy it, right? Remedy that question mark. Bhante is saying this, but it doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because the insight may not have developed to that point as to see. So now, how do you then see it? Making that moment to moment attention, basing that moment to moment attention and being good at being in the moment, and not when you, let us say, you're in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But there is a far more depth to which you could go. What could hinder that journey into that depth is the thought that you're already there.
Mhm.
The thought that you're already there. Do you understand? When you think that you're already in that depth, now there will be no mind to take you into that deep. That is why it's very sensitive when it comes to accepting things. Remember, you accept things also knowing that those things you accept are also impermanent. So up until you do reach a solid state of enlightenment, certain experiences can also cease because of the arising of the hindrance. Hence, we keep on going, not getting attached even to the development that we are. That is the Dhamma mind, not having that attachment there. Do we have any other questions? Sujata, did I answer your question, Sujata?
I just can't get it to my head really and truly.
The
But
cohesion.
thank you, Bhante.
Wait. Put that in there. Cohesion, Sujata.
Yeah. I thought something binding like a gum or something. I got it in my head.
Okay. You thought it was something binding like a gum. Cohesion. Okay. Then, Sujata, if you take, for example, let us say a drop of water on the palm of your hand, right? A drop of water,
Yes.
right? Let us take a drop of water on a leaf.
Yeah.
Easier. A drop of water, a dew drop of water on a leaf. දැන් මේ වතුර ස්වභාවය ඒ කොලේ උඩ තියෙනට සුජාතා, it has that formed bubbles, isn't it?
Bubble.
Like a bubble of water. Right? That is cohesion, Sujata. That is cohesion. Right? Where the cohesive nature is seen, where that mass seems together. Now, if you take the leaf, right, the structure of the leaf, it maintains in that same manner, and that is why we refer it to as a leaf, right? It doesn't just dwindle away, it maintains itself. That is cohesion,
It's intact.
right? That is cohesion. It is together. It is, as you mentioned just now, it is intact. But they are intact because of the nature of cohesion. Nature of cohesion, right? They're supporting one another within its structure to maintain that cohesive nature. When you look at something, if let us say a ball, that ball is existing through cohesion, without just melting away, right? Without just disintegrating right then and there. There is cohesion. But then there can be, now, for example, if you take something like cotton candy and put it into water, what happens? It just,
Dissolves.
right? It just, I don't know what to call it, right?
Yeah.
And in the, now there is cohesion there too, right? Now the candy floss also has cohesion, but
Mhm.
when that balance is off, it disappeared. It doesn't have mass cohesion, let us say, as a building, for example. The building has more cohesion than the sense of, can we say
Well,
that? The
yeah.
building more cohesion than the body. Can we say that? Could we?
Yeah.
No, the building has more patavi than the body.
Apo, teju, vayu.
Do you understand? It's not, the building is hard. That is where you have to differentiate the cohesive element and the hardness element.
Oh,
Do you understand? Now, if I am saying, now let us compare the cohesion in this body, right? And the cohesion of the wall in front of me, right? The wall in front of me. Now, I'm not really sure, so don't hold me. It might, my body might be harder than the wall. I'm not sure. But let's imagine that it is a concrete wall, right? So definitely the wall is in front of me. And I am seeing it as one constant, it's a wall.
mm,
This constant sort of wall that I see, I'm seeing it why? Because all the particles in this wall are held together by whatever structure and supporting that there is. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu supports each other and exists supporting one another. In that same way, this structure has been made by Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. The singular, all, so let us say this is sand and cement or whatever it is. I'm not sure again. Regardless, all of those particles held together, it looks like a wall. If it disintegrates, it will, let us say, it might look like, what would it look like?
bits and pieces.
But the thing, okay, let us say pieces, right? Let us say pieces, sand, a heap of sand, right? But then there's a heap of sand. Is there cohesion there or not? It's a,
Right.
there is cohesion there, lovely. Okay, perfect. So there is cohesion in the heap of sand. You see, Sujata, it's a heap of sand because there is cohesion. But when it comes to something like sand, you can easily, it's easy to sort of remove part of it and make two heaps of sand. But in actuality, this body can also be moved like that, no? It can
Yeah.
be cut, it can be severed, isn't it, Sujata? Uttara බලන්න. මෙතන
Oh,
Sujata. Now the cohesion in the sand, I might be able to take something and throw into it to disrupt it. Why? I'm not disrupting the cohesion. I'm disrupting the patavi. That the patavi is the hardness. The cohesion is the fact that it is together. Do you understand?
yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Bante.
Yeah. So, for example, let us say my body, right, is cut from here, right? Now there is a, right? Now I've been severed into two, right? Now, all you can touch that part and there will be hardness, right? And there is also cohesion, but now in two parts.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, right? Now that same apparatus which cut my body is taken to cut the wall, right? But the wall cannot be cut by that apparatus. Why? The wall is harder, let us, right? So that is not cohesion. That is hardness. That's the earth element. Does that make sense, Sujata?
It's a wonderful sense, but very, very deep, Bante. I'll tell you that much.
So these kind of things, Sujata, this deepness, when you're awing about it, take it as Shraddha. Shraddha is the Dhamma.
Oh,
Right?
mm,
We can walk on the path without any guilt, not guilt, without doubt. Why? In moments like this, when we discuss this depth of Dhamma taught by the Buddha, we realize how organized, systematic, and how there is a clear path in this.
wonderful, wonderful, Bhante. Yes, I
Yeah.
know. You explained so well.
Bhante,
That's the point.
Bhante, I read about this cohesive nature in a book, and it explains in a bowl you put some flour and sugar, and then you add some water, and which is apo, and mix it all up. Because of the cohesive nature of the apo dhatu, which is in water, that, it explains that's what the cohesive nature is,
Mm.
like
Mm.
making a cake.
Absolutely. The cohesive nature of it. Right. May
Can I ask a question, Bhante?
Yes, Sheila, you've been waiting.
Yeah.
Sheila.
Yeah. I find that when I start meditating, when I get into a position like spine gets straightened, and then my face goes very hard, face muscles that had been there for a long time, and today I found my hands were raised after some times.
Hands
And
raised.
hands were raised.
Where were they?
I was keeping in my lap. They were about 6 inches above when I found it's raising, and then I opened the eyes. It was actually raised. That's I don't know what that is.
Don't
So
worry about it, Sheila. ඕවගේ දේවල් වෙනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට අපි මේ දකුණු හිර බලාගෙන භාවනාවට ඉඳ ගන්නවා නැගිටින්න වෙන පැත්තකින්. ඕවගේ දේවල් ශීලා වෙනවා. Right? But don't take much notice of it. It is not a big thing. It is not something that is causing you any distress. Right. So it might be because of any sort of perception that arose at the moment. Now when we meditate, then samara velavat we meditate looking north and wake up. When we rise from meditation, we are looking, let us say, east or west or south. Things like that happen, right? Motions like that happen because of the hindrances. Right, because of the hindrances, because now the mind, the struggle of the mind, when the mind is going empty, right, the body is not used to this, right? You come to realize so much about this mind and body connection when they struggle, and how the mind the hindrances start sort of pushing itself into the surface because it is almost as if it's going out of air, right, to survive. And the body, and this is experienced through the meditation. So what you have to do in that sense is, at a position like that, is you have to go back into samatha meditation for a little bit, increase your samadhi. Through the increasing of samadhi, the defilements are suppressed, right? Suppressed. And once those defilements are suppressed, you can come back into the vipassana and it all just goes away. In your case, Sheila, එච්චර බය වෙන්න දෙයක් හෝ එච්චර අවධානයක් යොමු වෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ, because it is not causing you any distress, and I feel like it is more of a perception that it sort of rose, right? Yeah. Does this happen often, Sheila?
The raising of the hands doesn't happen often, but my face is always going hard. Muscles get hard, so I think it's Patavi Dhatu.
The face, Sheila, don't take much sense of it. Take it, ඒක විදර්ශනාවෙම observation එකක් වශයෙන් ගන්න. ඔතකොට ඊළඟට facial muscles වල තව විරාග කරන්න පුළුවන් facial muscles. You can let go of the facial muscles even more in the next time. Don't take it as a point of concern. Take it as a point of understanding. Right? Take it as a point of understanding. Remember that when it comes to the senses, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 senses. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 senses with the body. Just on this sort of part above the neck. Right. So it again, everyone, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but no, it's wrong. It's 1. The mouth is part of the ear. Right. Those the mouth and the ear, it's the Shabda Dhatu. You listen to sounds through the eardrum. You speak and you manipulate sound to speak through the sound cords, right? To the vocal cords in the mouth. So this is Shabda Dhatu. Hari, Shabda Dhatu. And the face, the nose, the eyes. See how much. So usually the head, right, will seem in the immature stages, the head will seem heavier than the rest of the body. Don't take much notice, just continue. Just let go of all that. ඒ ටික ඔක්කොම තව අත්අරගෙන ධාතු ටික බලන්න. Right? Because remember, then ඕකත් අපිට තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඔක්කොමලාටම කියන්නේ, we are telling to everyone. Now, the head, right? If you are experiencing that it is constantly heavy or stiff, it is a good measure to show yourself to come more into the present. There is letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, right? Letting go. This is and maneuver the meditation in a manner where then you know, okay, stiffness, but if the stiffness is in one place, then letting it go even more. Right? But you have to learn how to let go. You have to find the point where you have to let go. Right? Now, when you are meditating, you might have realized up until a certain point, if you don't remember to relax your shoulders, right? But then into the meditation, you realize, although I relaxed the shoulders before I started, my shoulders are still tensed up, and you relax it even, you relax it even more. So by physically relaxing, and it is almost as if mentally you relax even more deeper to just let it go. And you have to be open to these experiences because you're going to learn about them that is your Vipassana practice, right? That is your Vipassana practice. Do we have any other? Manisha, would you like to share your experiences? But maybe before Manisha, because Manisha doesn't speak much often, we'll go to Anoma. Shall we speak to you and then come to Manisha? Kaushali, do you have a question, Kaushali?
Yes,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. You can give the
No, it's
opportunity to
fine.
other.
It's
Are you
fine.
sure? Okay,
It's
thank
fine.
you. වන්තේ මේ ගිය සතියේ දීපු උපදේශ අනුව මම අර කාය ප්‍රසාද තන පොඩක් බැලුවා. ඉස්සෙල්ලම බොඩි එකේ පඨවි ආපෝ තේජෝ ඒ හතරම බලලා ඒකේ සෙන්සේෂන් එකටම ආවට පස්සේ කියන්නේ what you feel එකේම ඉඳලා ඒක sensation එකම what you think is the sensation එතනටම ආවට පස්සේ ඊට පස්සේ චක්කු එකට ගියා චක්කු එකේ බුදු පිළිමේ දිහා බලාගෙන තමයි කරේ ඒකේ ඔබ වහන්සේ කිව්වා ඉමේජ් එක හරියටම ගන්න කියලා. දැන් ඒක දිහා බලාගෙන ඉන්නකොට මම හිතන්නේ දැන් පටවි කියලා එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ ඔක්කොම ඉස්සෙල්ලම ඒකේ අර මනෝ සංඛාර ටික අයින් කරා අර proliferations. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ පිළිමේ දිහා හොඳටම බලාගෙන ඉන්නකොට ඒකේ අර උඩ ඉඳන් කොටස් බලුවාම බුද්ධ රූපේ සිවුර අර ඔළුවේ ඉසකේස් ඒව ඉස්සෙල්ලම අඳුරගත්තා. ඊට පස්සේ බොඩි පාර්ට්ස් ඔක්කොම අයින් කරා. ඊට පස්සේ පටවිය එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ හැබැයි අර වර්ණය එනවා සුදු පාට. ඒකට හරි කැමැත්තක් වගේ තියෙනවා. ඒක ඊට පස්සේ ගියා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකත් ඒ ධාතු හතරටම කඩලා එතන ඉන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් ටික නම් කරේ නෑ හාමුදුරනේ. දැන් එතන මං හිතනවා පොඩ්ඩක් වරද්දගත්තේ ඒ ඉමේජ් එක මනසට ගන්න කියපු එක මේ ඔබ වහන්සේ කිව්වා ඒ කියන්නේ මනසින් පුම්බලා ගන්න එපා. ඒ තියෙන විදිහටම ගන්න කියලා. එතනට ආවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එතන චක්කු ප්‍රසාදයට ආවා. ඉතුරු ඒවා නම් කරන්න බැරි වුණා. මගේ හිත ඊට පස්සේ අර දැන් එහෙම බලාගෙන ඉන්නකොට ඉන්නවා පටවියම විතරයි ඊට පස්සේ අර සද්ද ඒවට මේවට යනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මම ආයි මුළු බොඩි එකටම දාලා සද්ද එහෙම නිකන් මයින්ඩ් මූව්මන්ට් හැම ඒ කියන්නේ දාර 6ටම කරන්න ගත්තා. එතනින් මම හිතන පොඩක් වැරදුනා මම.
Oh, එතන කෝෂලි when you're going over from the place of sensation, right? From the place of sensation, that is from the moment of the javanas, when you're going into the moment of the kaya pasada.
Yeah.
කාය ප්‍රසාදයට එන්න කලින් before we come into the kaya pasada, do you how did you experience that moment there?
කාය එතකොට දැන් බොඩි එකේ ගත්තොත් කාය ප්‍රසාදයට එන්න කලින් දැන් ෆීලිං එකක් එනවනම් ඒ ෆීලිං එක ඒ ෆීලිං එක මේ කියන්නේ මේ සංස්කරණය නොකර ගන්න පුළුවන් එකක් අනිත් එක සම්මුතිය නැතුව ගන්න පුළුවන් ෆීලිං එකේම විතරක් ඉන්න පුළුවන් දැනෙන තැන ටගාලා උපාදිත භංගයෙන් නවත්තන්න පුළුවන් ඒ ටික ඊට පස්සේ පඨවි ආපෝ තේජෝ වලින් ගන්නවා නම් නෑ ෆීලිං එකේ පඨවි ආපෝ තේජෝ ෆීලිං එක යන්න පුළුවන් මේ වායෝ හරි තේජෝ හරි වායෝ තේජෝ පඨවි ඒ හතරෙන්ම ගන්න පුළුවන්
feeling. What do you mean by feeling patavi vayo? What do you mean by just vayo and
why then නෑ sorry මං හිතේ මම වැරදිට කිව්වේ feeling එක පඨවි ආපෝ තේජෝ වායෝ වලින් ගන්න බෑ හම්තුරේ
okay
feeling එකේ අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා විස්තර කරපු තැනට එන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ feeling එකේ උපාදිෂ්ටි භංගයට බලන්න පුළුවන්.
feelings වල තියෙන අර කණික moment එක කොහොමද බලන්නේ?
ඒ කියන්නේ මනස එතනට එනවා. බොඩි එකේ feeling එක ආවහම ඒ ටික බලන්න පුළුවන්.
Yeah. Yes, but in what capacity are you seeing it, Koshali?
Capacity.
Are you seeing the moment-to-moment change, for example? Or does it appear like one mass experience? Are you seeing the impermanence happening or partiti bhange impermanence? What are you seeing?
No, I didn't see that, but I actually I didn't see that, but මම ඒක කරා විතරයි. ඒකයි මම හිතන්නේ වැරද්ද.
ඒක යා.
තේරුණා.
ඔතකොට තව assume කරන්න ඕනේ. ඔතකොට Koshali again මේ අර කීපු තැන this is very important, everyone, right? These things that we study in Abhidhamma, sometimes it just because they sometimes seem so basic and we feel like we've got it, only to realize through our meditation that we are struggling at that same point, which is, this point of when you look at the Buddha image, Koshali, the Buddha image, now today's class was helpful in that sense to you, to realize the Buddha image is not Patavi Dhatu, the Buddha image is Apo Dhatu. එතනත් වැරද්දක් තිබ්බා. බුද්ධ ඉමේජ් එකේ හරි බුද්ධ ඉමේජ් එකේ පඨවි ධාතු කියලා කියන්නේ බුද්ධ ඉමේජ් එකේ තද ගතිය, රළු ගතිය, සියුම් ගතිය, ඒ ටික, ඒ හය. දැන් ඔය හය දැන් Koshali, you remember those by heart.
Yeah.
Right? ඒ හයේ solid ගතියක් නැහැ. It appears solid.
Okay.
Appears. Now, when you are experiencing the Buddha statue, it appears all together, isn't it? Cohesion.
Yeah. Okay.
Cohesion. Then, let us say, මේ පොඩි බුදු පිළිමයක් කියලා. හරි පොඩි බුදු පිළිමයක් මේ අතේ අල්ලේ තියාගන්න පුළුවන් මට්ටමේ බුදු පිළිමයක් කියලා. you're keeping this Buddha statue on the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And then on the weight, the heaviness of the Buddha statue, you're taking the sanya, or you're adverting to the Buddha statue through the heaviness. Then it is Patavi,
Okay. ඒකත් කරා.
right? Through the heaviness.
Yeah.
Then it is Patavi. But if it is the form as a whole being together, the arms, the limbs, the hisa, all of that together, that is Apo. If you now one might ask, so what's the big deal, right? In the Paramatta, in the Vipassana, it will not break. Gana sanyawa kadanna බැහැ. වැරදිකින් කරා. If you try to discern, let us say in this case, Apo, through Patavi, the breaking will not happen because there's nothing to break. That is not the key. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, for example, let us say the Kamatana that I gave earlier for the Archies and CERs.
Yeah.
When you're holding your child, your grandchild, or hugging them, and let us say you're looking at this as you're feeling the Patavi and you're seeing it as, you're adverting to it as Tejo, let us say. But you're seeing the Patavi.
Yeah.
It will, etanat kadenne, because that's not the key. You had to, that is where the precision of Dhamma, because the mind adverts through volition. When the volition is something other than what it actually is, it doesn't crack the code. It doesn't go forward. So you have to break it. Put it down cautiously through your walking meditation. Put it down into moment to moment, moment to moment. Right? Moment to moment. And when we say thadagatiya කියලා කිව්වම, when we say hardness, don't equate the hardness from the hardness that you know. What is a hardness? The past hardness. Do you understand?
Yes. Okay.
Right. Then, like a racist would say, oh, another so and so. Right? Now, what's happening there? Comparison. Right?
Okay.
You're putting the same ditty forward there. This is not comparison. This is not owing to views. This is not owing to what you believe. This is reality. And the Buddha is showing you the pathway into seeing it to that depth. It is in knowing and seeing that depth through your eyes and experience. I'm sorry, not eyes, through your experience. That is where the insight occurs. Okay? All right, question. Tava, slow down in the sense of moment to moment. If the stream is going, if the stream is carrying on, what happens is what we are experiencing is not the moment to moment, it is the way in which all these objects are present, the santati, right? Santati. So don't go there. Any other questions?
Bhante, may I
Yes, Vishaka.
ask a question,
Yes.
please? What I understood
Yeah.
about cohesion is that a shape of an object is due to cohesion,
Yes.
and due to the consistency is due to the amount of each dhatu in that.
Sorry, repeat it again, please. The shape of the object, the last part.
The shape of the object is due to cohesion of
Sorry.
four dhatus, and the consistency of the object is due to amount of each dhatu in that object.
The
Right or
form.
wrong?
Oh, Vishaka.
Is that right or wrong?
So the form of an object. Okay, we are seeing an apple. We're looking at an apple. The form of the object is cohesion, right? Now, now
It's a shape. It's a shape.
The shape of the object.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The shape of the object is cohesion, right? Now, when you are adverting to shape, now everyone, the term is shape. Shape. When you say shape, is shape a conventional reality or ultimate reality?
It's a conventional reality because
Correct.
it's a Prajakti.
Correct, Vishaka. Shape is conventional. Is Apo conventional or ultimate?
Ultimate.
There you go. Then you have your answer. Shape is not Apo. Do you understand? Now, but I understand that you might, it's not, you're talking about, if you're talking about the shape is not Apo. Now, if I am to look at, let us say now I can see Devika, right? Now, if I look at Devika and I am to take her shape as Apo, that would be wrong, right? Then what is Apo, right? Because if you look at Apo through the conventional lens, you will not go anywhere, right? You have to look at it through the right way for it to be discerned properly, for the discernment to occur, right? So what, if you take the example of the apple, what in the apple is Apo? Mala, what do you think? Manisha, what do you think? Anyone else? Mala, Anoma, who knows? Anyone can say. Yeah. Maybe.
Can you repeat the question, Bhante, please?
Okay, Vishaka. Vishaka
Yes,
says, sorry, Vishaka says, Hari,
Yeah, that I
I
got,
take the
Bhante.
shape of the apple as cohesion, right? And we deduce shape is conventional and Apo is Paramatma, right? Apo is water. So now the example is we are all looking at an apple, okay? A red apple. Then what in the apple is cohesion is my question, Anoma. And anyone can answer. Take a guess.
Apple is cohesion.
Different parts. Bhante,
You see how
apple.
is
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Anoma kiyanne?
Bhante, because the apple has so many particles, like the skin, the middle, everything. So all that is put together, isn't it, Bhante?
Okay.
That's my belief too.
Okay. So it is. Then Anoma, then api think about this. You're all seeing an apple in your meditation, right?
Yeah.
දොළ දුකක් වගේ. දොළ දුකක් වගේ ඔක්කොමලාට apple ගෙඩි පේනවා. හරි. දැන් මේ apple ගෙඩිය පේනවා භාවනාවේ දැන් මේක කඩාගෙන ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕන. Apple ගෙඩියේ how do we contemplate the cohesion in the apple? What are we looking at? Are we looking at the shape?
Not the shape.
Are we looking at the color?
Yeah.
Then what?
Bhante, is it
core of it.
Tejo, Bhante?
Sorry?
Is it Tejo, Bhante?
Why, hey Male, did you say Tejo? Why did you say Tejo?
Because of the shape.
What does the shape and Tejo have?
I think when you bite it, you feel the Tejo.
But
Bhante, there's water.
But you've
There's
not bit
water in
it.
that. Yeah, sorry.
But this is the thing. You've not bit
Because of
it.
the cohesion nature.
Oh.
Right.
You break
Sorry?
cohesion, Bhante?
Cohesion.
Right.
It is the nature of keeping it together.
Yes.
Okay. So take in the fact that the whole apple appears together.
Yes.
Right? Not the shape. Now, if we attribute that, now, Vishaka would not even then ඒක තමයි මං කිව්වේ කියලා කියයි. Right? Because it's a shape.
I was about to say
That is what I was
the
saying.
shape stays due to cohesion.
But the thing is, it's not.
Apple is like apple,
The
like
shape
a
stays.
ball.
Yeah.
Is due to cohesion.
Hari. So, Vishaka, the shape stays the same due to the cohesion. The shape is the nominative case in that sentence, meaning the shape becomes the primary object. If you look at it, if the nominal case in that sentence is the shape stays the same because of cohesion. The shape is cohesion. The shape is the whole apple existing the way that it is existing in that moment is cohesion.
Yes.
If we give the prominence to the shape, a shape is a sammuti.
Yes, Sammuti Bante.
The shape is a sammuti.
There's no apple at the end.
There is no apple. So all those little particles of nutrition or whatever it is that an apple is made up of, all of them existing in the way that it does, right? Meaning now one Rupa Kalapa, right? One Rupa Kalapa, let us say this Rupa Kalapa has 8 parts within it. A mass of Rupa. This mass of Rupa, next to it, there might be another mass of Rupa. Right? But this mass of Rupa is not this mass of Rupa. This mass of Rupa is not responsible for the next mass of Rupa. This mass of Rupa is only responsible for itself.
Right.
While this mass of Rupa is responsible for itself.
Individually.
Hence, the shape is not cohesion. Do you understand?
No.
The shape is not cohesion. Sujata, you used the word binding, right? It's the fact that it is bound or like a glue together is also not cohesion. Cohesion is a nature. Cohesion is the nature that it sticks with the form. It maintains the form in that same way. Now, although I eat, doesn't mean that another arm is going to grow out of my it's not going to, right? The nutrition that the body needs, it will take. If I'm eating too much, right? We know what will happen. We are not going to say the word, but in the same, the same structure will maintain, right? The same structure will maintain. Now, this is the thing. And yes, Anoma.
No, Bante, I don't have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, Bante. Now,
So, yeah.
cohesion is the gravity.
Yeah.
Cohesion is the gravity. So when we discern something, when it comes to discerning, it's the cohesion that is the main, the way of doing it, isn't it, Bante?
Yeah.
Even though it is earth, fire, wind, whatever it is, cohesion is the way that you look, through cohesion that you have to look at it.
It is through cohesion that you look into it, yes.
Yes.
You take a hand,
you,
it is the hand itself is cohesion. But within the hand, right, if you're taking a prajnapti as object,
yes.
Right? Now, in Vedana, we approach it a little bit differently. Where in the Vedana, we sit, we calm ourselves, we bring ourselves to the present and advert moment to moment at the sensation that is at hand. Right? At the sensation that is at hand. So we are directly looking at not the prajnapti. We are looking at, let us say, the Vedana.
Yes.
Right? The Vedana, the sensation. But of course, my hand hurts at the beginning when if you just sat down, of course, you don't have your whole hand paining all that much and all of that because you just sat down. But even if you do, if you're taking the hand as prajnapti, the hand as object, that is a prajnapti, a conventional reality, right? A concept. We have to go beyond the concept and connect with the ultimate reality. So when we go beyond the hand and look at the Vedana, the sensation is the ultimate reality.
Yes.
The sensation with the conventional, the story behind it is conventional again. So we have to experience it absolutely fully. In experiencing it absolutely fully is being able to see it at the moment of arising, processing, and passing away. Right? But if we see, let us say, 5 chittavitis have passed 5 processes. So one chittaviti anoma kiya tiyinawada chittakkana?
3.
චිත්ත ධර්ම කීයක් තියෙනවද වීතියක?
55.
17.
No, 17, sorry.
17.
Bhante.
So,
Yeah, total for.
so we have one mind moment is Uppadatiti Banga. We have 17 of these in one VT. And at least 3 VTs, so 17 into 3, must process for us to even catch the form. Right? In this case, many VTs, when we observe the continuity, then we usma ralla diya balaගෙන ඉන්නකොට the in-breath, from the moment that it starts, the in-breath, there are many VTs, many experiences there, but we catch the breath as what? As one full sort of column, one singular column of air. But that is wrong, you say. Again, wrong in the ultimate sense, not wrong in the practice. That is how we go this path to mature, right? Where first we will see one singular in-breath. But one singular in-breath is good for the person who can't catch the breath at all. But in that in-breath, moment to moment, that breath also is experienced. The experience of the breath is also changing. So now in that breath, when you observe the arising, the processing, and the passing away, Upati Banga, you now bring your attention to observe Sabbakaya, Sabbakaya's Patisambedi, right, is Upati Banga from the moment of arising to the dissolution of the in-breath and the out-breath. There, moment to moment, that Sabbakaya is seen. Isn't it, everyone? Moment to moment. If a physicality is in motion, that change is occurring moment to moment, isn't it? So we observe that moment. Slowly bringing our minds to the slower, the more sort of closer and subtle, finer reality in which it exists. That is moment to moment. When we see the whole continuation of processes, that is called Santati Pachuppanna. Right? Because of Santati. Santati is that continuation. Right? Santati. Santati Pachuppanna. That is the continuity that we are observing. But we have to bring it from the Santati Pachuppanna to what? Kana Pachuppanna. Kana Pachuppanna. Momentary arising. Kana Pachuppanna. Not the Santati. Santati Pachuppanna haraha yan ennona kana Pachuppanna. It's Koshali, exactly a Koshali.
Yes, Bhante, yes.
From the Santati Pachuppanna to the Kana Pachuppanna. In the Kana Pachuppanna, the flux that is experienced moment, the Vilabi, when I'm speaking, when you're listening to me, you might see or hear this as a continuous flow. That is Santati Pachuppanna. But actually, metana kana pachupana me mota pasa, my voice, the sound, high tones, low tones, all of these things are here. But I see it as one particular mass. That is Santati Pachupana. When you come into Kana Pachupana, which is where the yogi must aspire to be in focus, in ability of focus, that is where you can't be the maker, this sound that I'm speaking out, creating, manipulating. If it falls into Kana Pachupana, will it be audible anymore? Will you be able to understand? Put together. What do you think?
No.
What do you think?
You won't be able to understand.
No.
You won't be able to. Making our Vipassana job far more easier. Because why? You won't be able to form sentences. You won't be able to understand why. The mind is focused moment to moment, letting go. And it starts from the process of in-breath, let go, out-breath, let go, in-breath, let go, out-breath, let go. Oking patang aragana. Right? That is where we start and we journey forward. right? Journey forward to the place where when the mind realizes, this, when you have the sanya of Megha, this is the continuity, this process, right? That you start from your mind, you bring your intent to see it closer, see it in the Kana Pachukpanna. Do you understand? It don't create any aversion towards Santati Pachuppanna. Santati Pachuppanna එක පොඩ්ඩක් ඉඳලා. You have to spend some time with Santati Pachuppanna where you see the continuity of the process, sometime where till you are ready to go deeper also. Right? So Santati Pachuppanna experience is your stepping stone into the next level. All right, everyone. So you do this in the Anapanasati, the Vedanapasana. In those different meditations, you can use that. You have to. It will is the part. Do we have any more further questions?
සනහස මට චුට්ටි පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා.
හෙම්මාලි මේ තේජෝ කීපු එකට හෙම්මාලි punishment එකක් දෙන්න.
ඔව් සනහස මොකද දන්නවද මම
ඇයි?
හිතුවේ ඒ
ඔව්.
හිතුවේ කොහේෂන් නේචර් එක තියෙනවා නේද තේජෝ වල නෑ පටවි ආපෝ නේ ආපෝ වල කොහේෂන් නේචර්
Yes, ආපෝ.
so what I mean is ආපෝ so කොහේෂන් නේචර් එක මතක් වුණා හැබැයි මට තේජෝ කියලා කියුනේ
හරි හරි. ඔතකොට it is ආපෝ. It is ආපෝ.
yeah සනහස මට පොඩි question එකක් තියෙනවා සනහස දැන් සනහස කිව්වා නේද කන එකට ඒකෙදි කනපච්චුප්පන්න means you have to come to the present moment එක ගැනද එතකොට අපි ඔය කරන්න ඕන
present
observe කරන්න ඕන
how do we come to present moment, isn't it? The present moment, Hemali, now everyone, please don't take or do not deprive yourself by embracing an idea that we have not understood the present moment. Please don't do that to yourself. This is not the intention. The present moment is going to be a constant process. The learning of the present moment and understanding of the present moment is going to be a constant process of understanding and journeying through the meditation practice. Right. So this understanding will continue to grow, right? And delve into different parts in our meditation and Dhamma, especially, of course, meditation. So whilst this is, just take this as a Dhamma that is going to support you to go deeper in your present moment. Right? Yes. This present moment is divided into two parts, right? Continuity of processes, Santati Pachuppanna, right? Continuity of processes, Santati Pachuppanna. Santati Pachuppanna and Kana Pachuppanna. Hari? Kana Pachuppanna. Santati Pachuppanna means when we observe the continuity of a certain Dhamma. Now, continuity of a certain Dhamma is when the breath continuously flows in, we call it the in-breath. When the breath continuously flows out, we call it the out-breath. Isn't it, everyone? When a car is continuously racing, we call it a speeding car.
Santati.
A speeding car, right? In that same manner, when a house is continuously there, right? That is a continuous, that is Santati Pachuppanna. Now we see this, right? We see the in-breath fully, the long in-breath, the short in-breath, and we go further to observe that at one point, as it matures, we come to observe that even during that process of the in-breath, there is change. Initially, I saw change when the in-breath stopped and the out-breath began. I saw change. But now I see change moment to moment. Why? I see it. How do I see that change? I see that change because now I'm seeing the moment to moment difference in the Nama and the Rupa. Is that understood? How do I come to that was Hema Mali's question. When you come to the Santati Gana, advert to this piece of Dhamma inspired by this teaching, advert to the deeper depth of that experience, and you will go into, find your way to Khana, right? Khana is that moment to moment. That is the way. That is the way how we discern our way from the experience to the Prasada Rupa as well. From the experience to the Hadaya Rupa, all the Rupas, that is how we find our ground. Are a moment to moment maker. Now we can experience, in that case, what we begin to do is, now we are a Javana. The moment of impulsion we see, the moment of seeing is seen. The moment of sampatichan, something ඔය විදියට බලන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. වෙන් කර කර. ඔය පටන් ගන්නේ, we start that journey at this level. Where we now advert to the reality that, oh, even in this short experience, හරි දැන් කියමු දැන් in Asia,
Bante,
in
excuse
Asia,
me.
one moment, Anoma, in
Yeah.
Asia, this is, the mosquitoes can also be a kammatthana in Asia. So the mosquito comes and lands on you, right? And I have done this and not got sick, but I've done this when the mosquito sort of lands on you, right? And you're very, very aware, right? And how it penetrates your skin, right? How it penetrates into your skin. You can watch very closely. And even when it takes its sting out, you can observe that very closely there, right? Very closely. I am not claiming any sort of responsibility for illnesses and sicknesses that might arise from this kammatthana. I have, but you can, that kanika moment, everyone, knowing in reality, coming through the learning of Dhamma, which shows you that moment to moment changes occur. And we note that when we are observing these flow of changes, this is the santati, the continuation of a singular process, which is a continuation of singular process. If we look through the Paramattha, where is the mind? Koshali, can you tell? Chandra? When we are looking at the continuity of processes, what is the process of mind that we are looking at? The javanas. Javanas, right? The javanas. So javanas, and if you're going to javana and tadalambana, if you're remembering it, right? Remembering that flow, we are remembering the tadalambana as well, right? So javana and tadalambana. Then oka javana hatak තියෙනවා. Javana hatak තියෙනවා කියන්නේ, now the javanas are manifesting, or the mind is taking a prajna of the object. We are on that javana.
Yeah.
So you can see how gross that place is. How gross that place is. So we let go, come into the moment, the kana moment of this experience, right? The momentary ceasing is seen. Does that make sense, everyone?
Kanaka can be instant, is it?
Kanaka is momentary.
Evaluate at that moment.
Yeah, momentary. At that moment, momentary. Right? So this is your homework, everyone. I hope that all of you have now brought yourselves to commit to a daily practice. And you are doing that. The guided meditations, even this meditation that we did today, will be available online. So you can very well listen to these meditations if you struggle with practicing on your own. But the most important thing is that you make time, that you do make these sankharas that will aid you and guide you through the path, right? Through the path. So do have those instigations of mind every day to live with this sense of attention and prajna working in your mind. And I hope that you go through this kammatthana in your daily life, through eating, through doing all the different things through your day. Put it into the practice. There is nothing good or bad, everything that can be put into the practice. Right? Everything can be put into the practice. So observe all of those motions and try to, and I hope that all of this will be inspiration for your own paths, and through your merits and everything that you cultivate, I hope will better fuel me in my journey as well. For all of us, in nirvana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Take
Therwan
care,
sadhu,
everyone.
Therwan
Have a
Bante.
season.
Sadhu.
Well done.
Thank you.